Well, congratulations. You are almost at the end of the semester. So we're at that point in the semester when we get the fun-filled project. And we actually started talking about this project way back in the beginning, as you might recall. You will be selecting a market for disposable baby diapers. And back, as I said, in the beginning of the semester, let me go back up. Let me see. There we go. You chose which market you would be comparing to the United States as a potential for your diapers. So in the interest of making this a little easier than reality, we're not going to look at a bunch of different countries. We're going to look at the United States, and we're going to look at the country you chose. So it's kind of a forced comparison and say, of the two, which one do I want to choose for diapers? And what I'd like you to do is reread Chapter 4 in the Global Entrepreneur and then revisit the two videos that pertain to Chapter 4. So we scroll up a ways, you see Chapter 4 Market Selection Variables Part 1 and Chapter 4, where are you? There we go. Market Selection Variables Part 2. So please review those, paying special attention to the funnel that I gave you as a way of organizing the data to compare the two countries. So, and also to make your life a little bit easier, I put together a grid. Let me show you where that is on the course site. So let me go back down. I just did this in Word, and what you can do is you can grab it, you can save that, and type your analysis, your data analysis right into it. That should make things a little bit easier. Actually, let me open a different, there we go. This is the more up-to-date version of the site. And you can see I put country evaluation template for disposable baby diapers. There's a couple of comments I want to make on that. Thank you to the early birds for asking, how long should it be, etc. So you can do this as a paper as long as you use headings and subheadings and make it super duper clear. Or you can use this template. And what it is I just made a table that includes the various sections of the funnel. So you would look at the needs potential for disposable baby diapers and then put the data here for the United States and then for your country and then for demographics, for economic and financial variables, for political legal variables, for cultural variables, for industry variables. And let me go over these in a little bit more detail, each one. And I'm not going to reiterate everything that's in the video in the book on Chapter 4, but I just want to make some specific comments. Needs potential should be the needs for disposable baby diapers. So the end goal here is for us to look at each other's, for you to look at each other's products and projects and discuss them. So if you go off on some weird tangent and say, oh, I'm going to do diapers that are cloth and they're for seniors, then it's not really an apples to apples comparison. So it won't be interesting to say, oh, look, George looked at China as a market and Wanda looked at Brazil and it's for the same product, i.e. disposable baby diapers. Let's compare those. Okay, so please make sure you do stick to disposable baby diapers. The needs potential should be an examination of disposable baby diapers, how many disposable baby diapers were imported into your country last year or the year before. So each element of analysis should include the details and the analysis. So it should be, X number of diapers entered this market versus X numbers in the United States. Therefore, I think this country is a good market or not. Demographics will be easier for you to find than needs potential because a lot of the stuff you can get out of the CIA World Factbook. But once again, that's a starting point, not an ending point. And make sure the demographics pertain to the question you're trying to answer. Is this a good market for disposable baby diapers? So by virtue of that, what I would hope one of the key demographics you'd be looking at is, do they have babies? And if so, how many babies? What does that look like? And hopefully I don't have to explain the reason for that. Okay, so you'd put details on, and by demographics, I want more than just the babies, but that's a key thing I want in there. Details and analysis. And, let's look at the economic and financial situation. And once again, I want more. I'm not looking for regurgitation. That's a little too easy. So I want you to put the GDP is this, the GDP per capita is that. Therefore, they can or cannot afford disposable diapers, because as you probably well know, going back a couple of generations, even in the United States, disposable diapers were not the norm because, they're not cheap. So you'd want to evaluate, can they afford a non-essential item such as disposable baby diapers or not? What does it look like economically? Is their situation improving, not improving? And once again, I'm not going to repeat what's in the Chapter 4 video and in the chapter, but make sure that it pertains to disposable baby diapers, political, legal, once again, as close as you can to the product at hand. And then cultural. I mean, there's so many things you could say about culture. You could say, oh, well, in Thailand, they have the Songkran festival, and, it's very exciting. They throw water on people. And that's interesting. That's great for me to know that if I'm going to travel there. But once again, I care about the cultural aspects that pertain to disposable baby diapers. So how do they view children? How do they view child rearing? How do they view cleanliness? And then some of the more, the reason why I held off this far into the semester rather than doing this right after Chapter 4 or Chapter 5, which we could have done, is because the more recent chapters have hopefully fleshed things out for you. So the concept of culture as a variable you want to look at was introduced early on, but then Chapter 10 should have fleshed that out a bit. So you may want to go into that here. Is this a quote-unquote masculine or quote-unquote feminine culture? And that would seem like that would have some implications here for who's actually buying the diapers. And then by industry, sometimes people go crazy here and they go, oh, great, I was going to regurgitate what's in the CIA World Factbook, which once again I don't want. So it's not that interesting to me that, New Zealand exports tin or doesn't. But what is interesting is, does New Zealand produce significant amounts of their own disposable baby diapers or not? What's going on there? Am I going to be facing significant local competition or not? Okay, so by industry, we mean the industry for disposable baby diapers. What is Kimberly-Clark doing in this area? What is there a lot of competition with Pampers? Is there a lot of competition with Huggies? Is there a lot of competition with XYZ brand in your country? So once again, for each of them, I want the details. And by details, I mean the data. And then your analysis. So yes, Kimberly-Clark is very active in this market. Therefore, I'm not going to enter, or I am going to enter because I think we can compete with them successfully. And then last, but certainly not least, is some sort of conclusion. Yes, I do think that my country, whichever country I've chosen, is a better market than the United States for this reason. Or not. It could be that I think it's not a good market. So should you have any questions in the coming days, by all means, let me know. And as I've said a couple times, I'm happy to look at work in progress as long as I get it at least 2 days in advance so I can turn it around. I am very excited. I've seen some really, really interesting analysis in the discussions, so I'm very excited to see the projects. Good luck.